Let's get this question in from Ravikant. He's written an email and he says that he wants to buy property in Mumbai and his preferred area would be Bandra. His budget is 80 lakh rupees. He's ready to pay 35 lakh rupees as partial payment, but for the rest of the amount, he would require finance. What would be the best finance options available, he says?
80 lakhs,
80 lakhs in Bandra, that is the first
you a
big
house
question.
Is news, because I don't know which part of Bandra you're talking about.
If you do get a flat in Bandra for 80 lakh rupees, please come back and let us know where you got it and how you got it. Of course, it will be a very, very small flat because Bandra property rates are
but this could be
high.
Something in Bandra East that he's buying something, and there it's not that bad. Yeah, what can you do? There are 86 companies today offering housing finance. So really, you are in a buyer's market. You can choose where you want to go. If you're willing to do the hard work of legwork of going and talking to banks, etc., then the PSU banks might offer you the finest rates. However, if you're not so willing to put in effort, then you can go to the private sector banks where the service might be better, but the rates would definitely be higher. Then you have a choice of NBFCs like LIC Housing Finance, HDFC Limited itself, etc. So really, you have a huge choice. You can even go online and check for the best options and shortlist 2 or 3, and then you can get. And 55 lakhs for an 80 lakh rupee, 80 lakh house seems to be possible. It should not be much of an issue. Of course, it's a function of how much you are earning and how much other loans you have, etc. But it should not be much of an issue.
Right, and Ravikant, to make that choice a little bit more easier, my team will put up the rates that different banks and home finance companies are currently offering. But before we move on, Subra, this Ravikant sounds to me like a person who's taking a home loan for the first time, a first-time borrower in that sense. For all the other first-time borrowers also who are tuning in, could you give them a breakdown of what preparation you essentially need to do before you go hunting for a home loan?
Yeah, first of all, you need to decide where you want to buy a house and be very clear that you're going to live in that house for 10-15 years. So if you're a bachelor and you're 28, then you don't even look for options like is there a school nearby, because that's not your requirement. But 3 years later, 4 years later, 5 years later, you might require a school. So look for those things. Look for if your parents are going to stay with you, see whether there is a nice hospital available nearby where you can take them in case of an emergency. So look for those facilities first. Then decide on the options based on schooling, hospital, whatever you want. I mean, you want a temple, you want a church, whatever you want. You look for those things and then decide. Don't be in a hurry to decide.
So check your home loan eligibility first, or look for the home first. What would you suggest?
Actually, you should look at your ability to repay. What is the ability that you have to repay? So the losses, or every finance company looks at something like 30% of your pay is what you should be able to pay as an EMI. So for a person earning say 1 lakh, 30,000 rupees should be the EMI, which means you can get a 30 lakh rupee loan, and that would approximately work out to that. So first look at what you can buy for that kind of money for 30 lakh loan, where again maybe you put 30 lakhs of your own, so about 50-60 lakhs, what can you get? And then look at all these options and then buy. So don't be in a hurry to buy just because a builder has announced or things like that. A builder has announced is very good. You can afford to buy. Then if the location is nice and you like all the facilities, then go ahead. So but first look at your ability to repay. If your father or somebody is going to repay along with you, then see how many years he has to retirement. See if your wife is going to repay. If she is going to get pregnant and take 2-3 years off, then will her income be there? Look at all these before you jump into buying a house.
Right. Essentially, it's a long-term commitment that you're making. A minimum of at least 10 years, 15 years, if you intend to prepay that loan. Typically, home loans extend to up to 20 years. So you need to keep all of this in mind. You need to keep eventualities in mind. How much should you save before you actually go and take a home loan?
Look, I'm very old-fashioned. I still believe you should save something like 50% of the cost of the house before you take a loan.
20% anyway you have to pay.
20% you have to pay, and a lot of other things like brokerage and registration charges you have to pay. So 30% to वैसे भी बनता ही है. You're better off saving something like 50% so that in case there is a problem tomorrow, you'll never have to worry about selling the house and repaying the loan. So 50% is what makes sense, but yes, if you're very aggressive and you want to buy, you can go up to 30%, but don't go below that. With too many companies offering loans today, there'll be pressure on you to take it, take even more, saying we will give you a top-up loan, we will give you a furnishing loan, we will give you a registration loan. Don't fall for those gimmicks because you have to repay anyway.
Right. Right, all of that things to remember, and also keep watching Property Hotline. We will of course keep telling you about the different things that you need to consider when you are taking a home loan, the fine print that you should be reading, your rights as a home loan borrower.
You can watch live TV on our website mpnow.in. Find us on Facebook at facebook.com/magicbricksnow. And don't forget to click the like button. You can also follow us on Twitter at magicbricksnow. To stay updated with all our programming, hit the subscribe button on our YouTube channel by logging on to youtube.com/magicbricksnow.